Okay, since I got 12 years of schooling doesn't mean I got grade 12, okay? Grade 3 was quite fun for those couple of years I was there. All right, this is how the thermostat works. It goes down in here. The little knob slides up and down. That is the direct access from the water pump. So when this is open or whatever it flows through, you got movement, okay? So now you toss this in. There we go. That's what's recommended on the internet and everybody using it down south. But that is good when you're going through the parade, the fairgrounds, and waving at the ladies at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Because you have water movement here, okay? It's not getting blocked off. All right? So this is what the knob does, is block that off. So now I have to figure out how to make that kind of work. Oh, hand and eye coordination. That's the joys of being sober. I have to figure out something here. So it's pointless going around putting these new thermostats in because you look at all the water movement we have here. Like there's more water movement here than when this is open. So it's a total waste of freaking time. It's like getting a vasectomy and the wife still gets pregnant. We're going to have to sit down and figure this out. So the thoughts of running around putting these thermostats installed is pointless, okay? So we read on the internet, seen what everybody was doing, but that's different. That's in the south. This is wilderness Alaska, where we want these cats to produce heat, to stay warm, and then they'll run smoother, and they won't go pitting, bitten, button, booting, and everybody around the world says I need to buy, $6,000 worth of injectors to make the cat run better. No, keep it out of the water from swimming, and get it to warm up. All right, let's go have some lunch and some vodka to try and get rid of this cold or whatever. But I'm not sick. If I was sick, I'd have a sick day and can relax. I just got served the wrong beverage last night. Okay, let's try this again. I'm hurting big time because of that vodka, that low grade cheap vodka we were calling the ex-wife vodka. So here's the new thermostat that we wanted to install, but we can't block off this bypass. This is a 180 thermostat, and in here is the 160 thermostat, which is the long one with the knob on the end. Okay, so we got this here. Pay attention to that. Just like a magician. Okay, this is how the housing goes on. See the back? See that there. This goes down in here, like so. Okay, so the water pump is feeding where the ribbon is. All right, so keep an eye on the ribbon, and I'll now undo the bolt. Okay, I now undid the bolt, and okay, watch the ribbon. Just like a magician, they call me Penn and Teller. All right, see the ribbon? It's coming in here. So this is feeding off the water pump up here, and it's going in here, which is this right here. All right, let's see if we can slide this out some more. Are we following the ribbon? Okay, this is the water pump feed. Now, let's see if we have enough talent. Stand this up. Okay, look at that there. Okay, none of this was planned. Let's pull the ribbon, the thermostat out. So see how the thermostat ribbon goes down into that area? So that's the water pump feed, all right? So there is a breather hole here to let the air through, okay? When you're filling the system, always to have some movement of water happening or antifreeze, okay? So then it comes out, and then it's allowed to, go up to the rad, okay? So it'll go up to the rad here. So blocking this off wouldn't make sense because that's the feed from the water pump, okay? And it goes in that hole there. So when this opens up, that allows the water pump flow to head up to the radiator, okay? So blocking that off isn't going to work. So we're going to have to figure out something else. So thought is required, in which we'll do that today. All right, let's get working on the TD-9 known as Kijiji. Yes, I'm calling it its right name today. I don't know how or why. Okay, now we're busting our tushy really quick to get the thermostat housing modified. Okay, first off, we have to thank the Kingdom followers and YouTube subscribers for the amount of detail and effort they put in typing with 2 fingers or 1 finger on the replies, the comments, and the emails, because it's very important that the invisible followers learn, okay? All right, what upsets me the most is this is what it comes over as the replacement. All right, so you look up this part number for this thermostat, and then they say this is the replacement, okay? I grew up watching Sesame Street, and These two are not the same. Okay, see this here? Yeah, not the same. So, okay. All right, let's get back to regular schedule programming. I printed off and enlarged the picture book of the IH cats. And it states right over here in the writing, when the thermostat reaches 90 degrees Fahrenheit, okay, it's a 190 thermostat, the thermostat closes the bypass, okay? The bypass is the dotted line here. So it keeps the circulating of the engine antifreeze, okay? And that was mentioned lots in the comments and emails. You have to have circulation because the engine will be hot at one end, cold at the other. So once this thing opens up, it closes it off, and then all the antifreeze goes to the rat. All right, so over here, we have proved that with this here, with the scratch marks, all right? So that means it's closed off, which happens when this opens up, and this opens up fairly wide, which closes off this port, which is this. All right. So the next thing we have to do is make something that I can take apart and throw in the bush and curse and swear because the cat's overheating. So welding these ports shut or anything like that. Plus, we have to make something that doesn't fall into or disappear into the water pump. So here's your thermostat that we're upgrading to the 180s, and we put the bypass hole right there. All right. So we drilled it out with the 1-inch drill bit, and then we die grind it because that's a very thin casting. So as you're drilling away, it grabs and flips you off knocks you over. So this will go on here like this. This is the bypass stopper, okay? So this is the bypass stopper. So now it'll act like a car. Everything will stay in here and circulate around to the motor, back and forth. This here, it goes in here. And notice I noted drill hole. So we have a breather hole for pouring the antifreeze in that'll let it escape, all right, the air out. But we have enough, imperfections here that this will let the air go. And we will have a little bit of circulation. So the whole idea is this to jam in here. All right, let's see if we got enough talent here. All right. Now, we flip this over. Voila. Oop, voila. That looks pretty good. So now we got my hole right here. Oh, stick my finger in there. There's the thermostat. There's the bypass hole. And there it comes out here. All right. Let's get some gaskets made, get this together so we can go for a test drive and make it more than 15 feet outside the shop with a bad cylinder head. Oh, well, we're having fun. Okay, I got all my gaskets cut out. Looks like a rainbow on the cowl of the 38 GMC. Oh, these lips need some more vodka. I'm just drinking beer right now as I cut out the gasket, so I got more talent as I drank. And then over here, we got out some more of that American steel. Yes, it's not Dodge, it's American steel. So I even numbered the parts, or the pieces, so I know I'm cutting out just enough and not too many or not too less. All right, let's get the plasma cutter going, which is the Pro Point 30A Plus from Princess Auto. Okay, coffee time in the kingdom, and I have my block off plates cut out. Now after coffee, I'll do the buffing. All right, so I was able to use the plasma cutter and in one rotation do the circle. I had some paint marker on there. I think you can see it. It's that purple one. All right, the most important thing on this here is these holes and that hole. Okay, so that's the importance of it all, because when the thermostat has to fit, the bolt holes have to line up. And we don't really care what the outside looks like, okay? So that's why they were cut extra large and kind of booger cut or whatever. No effort was put into it, cutting the outside circumference or whatever. Ooh, that's a big word. Okay, the outside circumference, because it's pointless. Until I know I haven't screwed up the hole here or the bolt holes, then we're good to go. In the past, when I was young and stupid, now I'm just old, I would spend all this time buffing the outside, making it look pretty, and then I would screw up where the thermostat or the other holes, okay? So as I get older, I'm getting smarter. So that's how we do it. So after coffee, after I'm more relaxed with some vodka, we bolt this onto here, and then we use the buffing wheels or the grinders to make the block off plate fit the housing. Yes, that's how we do it. So we kind of do it backwards here in the kingdom, but we also do it the easiest way, the smartest way, and how would you say, most efficient way. Ooh, lots of big words today. I must have stayed at the Holiday Inn last night. Okay, lunchtime in the kingdom on a Sunday, but it's not our Sunday. We have to work and everything. Tomorrow will be our Sunday. All right, so I'm working on the list here for the famous black cat. Yes, he is famous. He's been in the family since 1987, and maybe that's why I got a divorce. I don't know why, but who cares? All right, so he's famous because we say he's famous. He's been sunk 18 times. So for being underwater and going swimming in the number of times he has, this looks pretty clean in here. But we always change the oil a couple of times after he goes for a swim, and I've adjusted the valves. These ones were kind of no space whatsoever. The feeler gauge wouldn't fit, so it's good to know that they've been adjusted. Okay, so we have everything ready for the thermostat housing to go back together so it can dry overnight. Yes, dry overnight and be, how would you say, ready to go. So we also drill holes in the thermostat itself for air to pass through, so there's no airlock. And we have everything set up over here, all the pretty gaskets that we made yesterday, so we can have a production line this week changing out to the new style thermostat. These thermostats here, I think, are about $10, landing in the kingdom at 180 degrees. They're common thermostats, so dime a dozen, toss it, throw another one in, get going. The other ones that are brass with a long stem, they're running about $80 landed here in the kingdom and known to fall apart because of, I would say, poor quality these days. All right, let's go have something to eat. We're going to have a sandwich, and then we got to get on the TD-6 cat. Okay, we went non-stop. We plowed some snow with the TD-6, and then I got on the mini hoe and gathered some firewood, fluffed up the drags, got everything ready. So we never filmed that because it's very boring. So now the push is on before the staff arrives with a good dinner. Was to get the 1-inch hole drilled in here, so that way the water or antifreeze is circulating in the motor of the famous black cat. So that'll be the push is on there because we want to get this assembled so the silicone or the gasket goo is drying overnight. So then we can put the antifreeze in and drive it out tomorrow and bring another cat in. Yes, another one. Oh well. Okay, we got what we wanted done. We got the new thermostat in there and everything's all gasket gooed in gasket. So now it can dry overnight. And then in the morning we can put the shroud things on. Yes, the shroud things that we took off for some reason. I have no idea. Maybe it was when we went swimming that one time. We had to clean out the rat or something. It's hard to say. All right, let's go check on what they're doing over here. We'll do the walk and talk video because everybody needs their exercise. It's Sunday, and I think they're watching that football game with Taylor Swift. Oh my, look at that. Oh, the promo bike. All right, so I went out to the storage shed and got the new thermostat. We buy one size fits all. So if it's on a cat, a truck, or whatever, one size fits all. Okay? And then this is a Caterpillar temperature gauge that was in the machine for 20, almost 30 years. So we'll take it out and put it into a Caterpillar cat because we really don't need to know what the temperature is doing there because the Caterpillar cats have their special thermostats. Yes, so then it turns to that gray line in the middle. Everything is happy. If it goes to that other line, you got problems. All right, let's go check on the flags. Okay, everything's laid out for in the morning for changing the thermostat on the communist cat. And then over here, look at that. We'll have 3 more to go. So we got the TD-4 TD-9s done, and we got 4 TD-6s to go. And then we can do the TD-18s. Yes, hopefully Sir Rodney gets the other thermostats for those, and then we can bring the big boys in.